Still trying to understand this push to talk. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not working.
What? Oh.
That's okay.
Why?
Why?
Okay. Oh, it worked. All right, we did it. Jesus. I just can't I can't close out of my browser, or else it like freaks the fuck out. Good. It'd be easier for me to not do that, right? Because I don't have any inclination to ever alt tab ever. Alright, well, we're live now, so if you guys want to do whatever, have fun.
Alright, welcome. Greetings to the TAI group selection. TIA. I'm here with Max, aka Tweetybird, and I am
Hello.
KJX Salad. And let's get this started.
Are we doing the
Alright,
maps first?
Yeah, we'll talk about the format first. So
Okay,
format
yeah.
is there's going to be 2 group stages. I seeded Tang and Waisan into group stage 2. I figured they're the 2 strongest going into this. And then meanwhile, everyone else will be seeded randomly into 5 stages. So that means that 10 move on, and accompanied by the 2 seeded in group stage 2. That'll lead us to 6 finalists where we'll battle it out in double elimination. That's about it for
Yeah.
format.
So you can kind of see. I'm actually gonna real quick. I'm gonna link this into the Twitch chat real quick, so everyone can kind of you can explore how exactly we will function throughout this.
Mm-hmm. So I guess another interesting thing to note is there's no vetoes. You have a default first map of that round, and then the loser picks. So ideally, you're gonna have to play on all the really dumb maps, which is fun.
And ideally, also that obviously you guys, I'm not sure this has been announced, but it's going to be a bunch of. It's not going to be ladder maps. So we have Whirlwind, Namaste, Syncestra, Borea Headquarters, Fruitland, and Rain City. Those are going to be, I think, also Skyscrapers in there. Skyscraper? Yeah, and Skyscrapers in there, and those are made by Avex and Crux. So if you guys ever get lost or anything like that, they're going to be in there. But you can also just find it if you search Crux and Syncestra or whatever it is. It should show up.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we covered format, I guess. So what about maps? We could show each map and go over them.
Pick a map.
Let's start with Whirlwind.
Yeah. Whirlwind should be one that everyone's pretty familiar with. It was in the map pool at HOTS. I forgot what
Yeah.
season it was, but it's one that's everyone. It was most loved back in HOTS.
Yeah, I played a lot of games on Whirlwind. I think it's a pretty balanced map, and it should still be different enough, at least with the current meta. Like, you haven't really seen too many maps like it, so it should provide some interesting games.
It's pretty macro-oriented, except for you can take like 4 bases, and then after that it starts to become a little bit.
Yeah, it gets stagnant.
Yeah, and remember this is a map we used to have. Like, remember when Mech was huge? We used to have all kinds of issues with split map scenarios on Whirlwind. I remember having issues with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess we could just move on. Well, hold on. Favored to any race, maybe Zerg.
I mean, it's not one of those maps where like Liberators are gonna be really overpowered in a certain area. Like it's not had like that weird dead space. I think Zerg might be pretty decent, but yeah, I think Zerg will be fully fine. There's that big open main, so drops would be pretty nice, that sort of thing. So it's a pretty standard map. Like
Yeah,
it
I
was
agree.
back in the HOTS map pool, probably pretty standard these days, which is good because a lot of these other maps are gonna get kind of wild.
Yeah. Speaking of wild, let's go right into one of our weirder ones. So, Rain City was played earlier today. We can look at that one. We saw a very interesting game on Rain City, and hopefully one of many. It seems like the theme is like really easy pocket 3 bases, kind of. You have that natural that's tucked away in that futuristic bridge.
That is supposing that Space Pope wants to go to 3 bases.
Yeah, that's true. We saw earlier that proxy stuff can be really strong in this map. Otherwise, it can turn into a pretty standard game. The double rampant in the natural is kind of weird, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem as you get into the mid and late game.
There's also those rocks in the main that I thought was a little bit odd, which is
Yeah.
here or there. But my original thought when I was going into this is like, oh sweet, so if a tearing wall's off, I can just run it with a bunch of roaches and kind of go at it.
Yeah, that's not really the case.
Yeah. The only other issue that I think that I thought was kind of weird about this map is the idea of that dead space behind the main there. That's potentially a Liberator Zone happiness.
Unfortunately. Okay. Yeah, so Terran, obviously one of the more favored races here. Like with Terran, you're not really like walling off your natural too often. There's a lot of just bunker stuff to defend it. So nothing's really going to change with the double ramp. Protoss, I see, can maybe struggle when you're trying to take your third. Um, and then even more so going into it, like there's a lot of different paths you can attack at. So Protoss might be on the back end here, but Zerg and Terran definitely looking pretty strong. I'd have to give Terran the stick here, but still, you know, not too crazy.
I think most of these maps are made by Apex, like I said, and he's the guy who made Invader. So most of these maps are like they're not like too wild and crazy. Like
Yeah.
we tried to keep it down like to a minimum, so it's not something where someone's like, oh, I could throw down 1,000 Liberators and win, or oh, Ultras are really, you know, whatever, Brood Lords are overpowered or something like that.
What about Skyscraper? We saw that one today as well.
Yeah, that was the one that was Fizzbed versus Neo Surfer today. So that was the one that I think if we had a macro game, that was the macro game.
Yeah.
Of this entire thing. So Skyscraper is pretty cool. There's that easy pocket natural, and then you have that like third base right there, and it's kind of nice to you can get up 3 bases without too much of an issue.
Yeah, obviously drop play is going to be huge here. Jarman's going to have to be running back and forth, and we saw a lot of havoc earlier with it. So.
Yeah, that was the only like when I was putting together the map pool for that like little in-house tourney or in-house clan war. I saw this map and I was like, oh, this is a great map because it's pretty, you know, 3 bases pretty easy. But those, as we saw, drop play, Bizben immediately went for the drops, and then immediately afterwards, Neo Surfer was like, okay, well, I'm just going to drop everything. He was elevatoring back and forth. He was going into third. He's going into fourth. He's going into natural. Everything like that. So.
Yeah, I think it should be noteworthy that like the 4th and 5th are pretty hard to take, even though like on paper it might seem pretty easy. The 5th especially, like you do not know where you should be putting your 5th, because it feels so awkward to put it right by your natural. Because in theory that's not very far, but you have to walk all the way around, so it's going to be difficult to defend a 5th base.
Yeah, and like unless you're like drop, yeah, like I said, it's like the drop thing, you know, because that means that if a Terran were to do that, or if a Protoss were to do that, oh, he's going to warp some Zells in your 5th, and then he's going to move into your natural. So it's, and then like the other option for a 5th way on the other side of the base, almost at your opponent's 5th.
Yeah.
So like.
Yeah, because if your opponent takes his 5th and then you take the other 5th option, you're right next to each other. So it could be an awkward situation there as well.
All right, that's Skyscraper.
Yep, we got Synkestra. Sorry for the background noise. Synkestra.
You're good.
So what about any thoughts on this one?
I have to give me 2 seconds. I gotta pull up Synkestra. Okay, let's see, Synkestra. Which one was that one? Oh, I think I remember this. Yeah, this one I got. Okay, honestly, when I chose this map, because I saw this and I was like, wow, this is so pretty. We should definitely have this in the map pool because I love the lights. But I remember this one. It's got the pocket natural. We saw Manny do that at the beginning of the 2-piece cheese that he does on this map, the 2-piece Terran cheese with the Liberators and the Widow Mines. So the third base, I remember Space Pope and I, when we were going through this map, we were thinking about a third base and we're like, wow, third bases are super awkward on this map. Like, like you can take the third base that's directly outside of your natural, but it just looks really weird. I'm not sure why. It's it's turned to the side there, and then after that it becomes a little bit more sketchy. So you're talking about like if you take that 4th base that's right there, then you have roaches, you have hydras, tanks, anything that's ranged can start hitting your mineral line and your gases. So what becomes of your 4th base? Do you take that kind of pocket 4th base that's closest to you over there? But the walking time is so, like if you were to move your units over there, how long is it to get from your natural or your main to that 4th base? So
it almost feels like there should be a third base in like the little mini ramp by your main.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like where a normal map would have their third, but here it's kind of just, I feel like that's a lot of null zone, maybe like an annoying place for siege tanks to go. But otherwise than that, I don't think it's going to be too much of a hotspot for fights and stuff.
Yeah, I think the hotspot of the fight is probably going to be around that Zelnaga, that Zelnaga, those 3 Zelnagas in the center there. I think those are going to be the hotspots.
Okay, so another one from today, Namaste.
Oh, this map is so pretty. This is. I just chose this map because it was pretty. Also,
there's so much going on. I'm kind of getting like a habitation station vibe from it, but not quite. There's still it's a lot bigger.
So it's really, really weird. So it's very, very close, as you can see. But first of all, that gold third base that you have right there is actually blocked off by minerals. It's not blocked off by destructible rocks. In order to get over there, you actually have to collect the minerals. And given it's not like that many minerals, I think it's like 25 per patch. So it's you just send like a couple of workers over there and they grab them in a couple of seconds. But that still means that if you want that gold base, you still have to collect those first before you want to go there. Or you can take the third, which is really exposed and exporting towards your opponent. Or you take the other third, which is down below, which is really far away from your main. So, I mean, this is not exactly the kind of map that I'd see a lot of. I don't think I'd see mutas or anything like that on, but I think drop play might be okay. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, short rush distance will probably mean a lot of one base stuff.
Yeah.
And especially because it's so awkward to basically take a third at all. We're probably
Yeah.
going to see a lot of low econ games on this, but you know the mineral patch blocking the gold is I think that's an interesting idea. We haven't really seen too much of that at all.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the reasons why I chose it. I saw that and I was like, wow, that's actually really unique. Like, I'm very curious to see if people decide to try to go for the gold base or if they just say, screw it, I'm not going to deal with it at all, and I'm just going to go for the third base down below or closest to the opponent. So.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got for that one. What about Fruitland? Good old Fruitland.
Okay, we'll take a moment here because Exoc and Zergasas, I'm going to rage at you for a minute because neither of you, or not Exoc, sorry, Riser and Zergasas, I'm going to rage at you because neither of you guys actually took the fruit. Take the fruit.
They made
with
it
1,000 mints.
Yeah, they made it seem like a pretty standard map, but there's a lot of features on this that kind of stand out. Obviously, harvesting the fruit for resources is pretty wonky. We saw like some people using it in the other tournament, but it was pretty rare. It seems like a lot of people are like hesitant to dive into Fruitland in its fullest. The third base, it's kind of distant. There's a different way to get in as well, so it's similar to that ladder map in the Dream Pool, I think it was. The one that everyone complained about because you could siege tanks up with the person's main. It's pretty much exactly the same as that. That wasn't Overgrowth, was it? I feel like that might have been Overgrowth.
It might have been Overgrowth. It feels a little bit similar because there was that was the easy 3 bases and then you had the cross map. Of course, Overgrowth is also significantly longer, if I remember correctly. It was like a long map, but it was that easy 3 bases, and then after that it became there was like a 4th base that was you can kind of see it here. There's a 4th base on the end.
Yeah,
that's the way that Overgrowth was set up. So that's where that dream.
Yeah.
I know that like the other thing about this map is just mainly those pineapples, and it's like a free 1,000 mints. I remember the last high we had, there was somebody I forgot who it was, but he just grabbed the fruit and then he actually just made like 10 zealots really early on, and he just walked into the Zerg's like natural base, it whatever 3 minutes, like 5 minutes, whatever it was, and just sniped it because he had 10 zealots. He got. 1,000 minutes.
Yeah, I think of all the maps, this is probably the one that you'd want to prepare for, like have a map-specific strategy for. There's that one, and then the double ramp into your main. I think that one can get quite interesting too. So this is one of the few maps where you can actually just probably pull out a win regardless of who you're facing using a feature of the map. So the fruit is going to give you a lot of minerals early. So maybe like prepare a mineral heavy, 1 base or 2 base, and then all of a sudden you have the resources that you wouldn't normally have for it.
Yeah, it's like having like a free gold base, free 1,000 mints. I think it's 1,000. I'm not sure if it's 500 or 1,000, but it's something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else can we say? I would still say it's going to be more macro-oriented. Last year, when we ran the TAI 7, most of these games were macro games on Fruitland.
Yeah, most of the games I remember. There was that one, I played a really weird game against Manny on this one, but most of the games I remember other than that one were just like 3 bases, 4 bases, and then kind of proceeding from there.
Yeah, it's your bread and butter. Like you get an early 3 bases, even 4th, quite easily, and it is pretty hard to push that in. Like you don't really have a whole lot to work with, especially when you can defend your naturals so easily with this map. I think if you get siege up some tanks or get some pylons along that big flat zone in front of your natural, you should be able to hold out.
Yeah, the natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that honestly ZBZs are the ones that I remember. ZBZs made some really weird games in this one.
Yeah, I think we only have 1 map left to cover, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's Borea, the map I threw in.
Yeah, and that's one I don't know like anything about, honestly. So give me 2 seconds to pull it up.
So if you look at it, it has a really, really awkward 3rd base location. And it also has an insane choke. So that thing running in the middle there, that's a choke. It looks like some kind of tunnel or canal running right through the middle of the map. Yeah, I
Oh
can
wow.
see a lot of lurker, widow mine, siege tanks, anything that really disruptors. Like the easiest way to push your opponent is right through that, but I'd advise players not to go for that. Probably just take a route around. If you kill the rocks, the map gets pretty standard. But if you don't kill the rocks, you got to go through that choke.
I remember actually, Space Pope and I did consider this one for the in-house clan war, and the
Mhm.
reason why we thought against it was actually because we had already had so many rush-esque maps, and the rush distance, because of this little straight path, is
Mhm.
actually really short. Like
Yeah, the
it
canal.
doesn't. Yeah, it seems like it's a big map, like a pretty decent sized map, but that rush distance makes it like nothing. There's almost none. So
So another map where we might see more early game builds, cheeses of sorts. But I don't know. I think it could still play out pretty nice. I did play a few test games on here, and one of them was with, PvP with Riser, who you just saw play earlier. And it ended up playing actually very standard. Early harass into the mid game. We had a nice late game fight, and then it just kind of snowballed out of there. So I'm still confident this will become more of a standard map. It's just that I think you just got to really scout and make sure your opponent isn't cheesing you out.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Um,
actually, real quick question. So I know the middle part right there is actually like you can go through there, but
yep.
at the natural base does that little ramp area go? Can you go through that?
So if you're
Right.
following
Yeah.
the main canal,
Yeah. Yeah.
you meet up with the. It's kind of like a low ground you can see, and
Okay.
that meets up with your third base,
Oh, okay. I
um,
see.
going into your natural, and then as well as that canal. So that's a main junction there.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
yeah.
Cool.
And
All right.
that space above your natural is actually it's a lot bigger than it looks. Like I was kind of confused as to what to use in that space because there's like right up you're so used to your natural like ramp going right up to your natural. There's kind of that like corridor there, and I kind of discarded it. But when I was playing the game, I feel like people could use it a lot better than I did. All right, I guess the main event now. Why everyone's here? The group selection. Oh boy.
Let's see.
Okay.
I have to do this, right? I have to do all the. Okay.
Yes, you do, Boo.
All right. I'm gonna open this up. Put that down here.
So just a reminder that two people did get seeded into round two just because of the nature of the tournament. So that means we're seeding 20 players into 5 groups of 4.
What just happened? Oh shit.
Boom.
I knew this was gonna be an issue. Okay.
Oh,
Wait.
there's a random Canada flag floating. I can fix that, don't worry.
What? Holy shit.
We only have 4 Terrans playing in this one. We are such
Yeah,
a Zerg heavy team. It's absolutely ridiculous. We have 11 Zergs and 4 Terrans. Terrans
there are
gotta pull it out.
basically, yeah, there are no master level Terrans in this tournament, and we have 2 diamonds and 2 flats, so
Oh yeah,
um,
Lando isn't playing. Without Lando, I don't think we do we have a Master Lover. Oh,
we have
Full Metal.
Full Metal and Arcanimus, but Arcanimus is really busy with school, and Full Metal missed the sign up. And
Yeah.
I was trying to find a way to get him in, but it's such an awkward like format with the 5 group stages. Like I couldn't make another one and still fit everyone in. So
Yeah. Make him make a 5th group stage and just have Full Metal be by himself. He gets a bye. He gets a bye all the way to group stage 2.
yeah,
All right. We did it. I think I did it. All right. Let's see. So should I just randomly hit this button a bunch of times?
Yeah.
yeah. So are we gonna go with first result or third or what?
Tell me when to stop. I'm just gonna keep hitting it.
You can stop.
Manipulation.
Manipulation. All
Number
right.
1.
So right off the bat, the most loved player in all inspiration. Manipulation. Our Masters Protoss. Do you want to say
He's
anything?
random. What?
Oh, he's playing random.
I don't know. Is he? He
I
always.
think
he always
signed
plays
up.
random.
I think he played. He
He
signed up.
said he was going to play. I think I remember him saying he was going to play Protoss.
Okay,
but-
alright.
He did end up signing his Protoss. Do you guys want to say anything about him before I rip into him?
I was gonna say manipulation. What I was casting for, I was saying manipulation was like the person that everybody kind of hates, but you need him, and like, I like playing against him because it makes me makes me become one with the cheese and the salt, and you know it's good. It's healthy to get hit by that all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I personally love Manipulation's playstyle because I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, It's all over the place.
It's just all over the place. Like you never, when you go into a game, and the thing is that he's actually developing. Like he's top masters right now, and he's not necessarily doing that through that two piece like Terran cheese every game, or doing a 4-gate rush every game. He actually is developing like a really solid macro game too. So that is going to be the scariest part of it about manipulation, is because he can just pull crap like that out, and then he can just, oh no, I can play a macro game too. It's fine.
Yeah,
I think he always had a macro game. He just wasn't confident in it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he's getting more confident in it. At least I hope so. Especially because he's getting up there. So.
All right. Yeah. From what I know of manipulation, he's pretty solid. At times he gets in these like ruts where he still needs to figure stuff out, and then he does fix it. So he kind of goes through a roller coaster. But right now he's definitely at peak form. He's been beating a lot of like high level players, and as you mentioned, high masters. So I'm really excited to see what manipulation can do in this tournament. I think the fact that manipulation was seeded in here first makes this group pretty scary. I think he's one of the better Protosses that we've seen. Yeah. And whoever else is in here has their work cut out for him.
Yeah, honestly, I think he's probably one of the better players that All-In has right now, especially in his current form. He's definitely up there for best players that All-In has.
Yeah, it shows. He does end up getting a lot of playing time in the competitive team, and even team events and such. Like, he's always there. All right. Yeah.
All right. So how are we gonna do this? Are we gonna do like the next pick goes in the group B, or next pick goes in group A?
Let's just go group by group. So
okay.
Yeah, let's go group by group.
Second member of group A.
And just do let's not do the stop thing. Just do like the next name. It's random anyway.
Okay. Well, I got the wagon then.
Okay. Right, did you remove manipulation as well?
Yeah, I did.
All right, sweet. So we got the wagon coming in here. Again, you guys can give your 2 cents, and then I'll hop in.
I shouldn't know much about the wagon. The few times that I've seen him play, like let's see, what have I seen him play? I saw him play against Full Metal in the in-house clan war, or the competitive clan war, and Full Metal did like this weird. What did he do? He like bunker rushed with proxy rack?
That's right. Yeah, I remember that. It was an all arena. He went for a 3 racks bunker rush, and the wagon did not hold it.
Yeah, so I don't know actually too much about the wagon. I know that Tang has revered the wagon, especially for ZVZ. Yeah, he said that he has a really, really, really scary ZVZ. So I don't know how he'll fare against Manny. That's going to be a good question if they end up facing each other, or when they do. But that'll be a really interesting match.
Yeah, I think Wagon's just a really scary and underrated Zerg we have on our team. He's really quiet at times. Like you don't really hear him a lot in chat, and even for playing, like he's there some days, not there some others. But he's really scary. Like I can't seem to take a game off the wagon when we play, and I know his ZVZ is incredibly strong. Tang, as you mentioned, Tang has said multiple times, like, hey, this guy beats me most of the time in ZVZ, and I can see why. Like he is a very strong mid game, very good mechanics. He plays like a bit clunky. Like he'll have a lot of units and just shove it at you. But at the same time, when your macro is that good, that's a good play style for you.
Yeah. The other thing is, I was just he was casting today, right? And he seems very, very knowledgeable every matchup. So I feel like he has a pretty deep knowledge of the game, and
Yeah, that was one thing I did notice, is that when I was watching him cast, he was like, "Oh, I know exactly what's going on with this build right now."
Yep.
And it was like, what? You're like, oh, okay, all right. You know the timing too? Oh, all right, then that's fine.
Yeah, he's watching PvP and like analyzing it well, and you're like, oh, cool. All right.
I'm gonna hit it one time.
Okay.
All right.
So it doesn't sound like it's Tech 4.
Tech 4. Okay. Jeez.
Sorry. Sorry, Tech 4.
Rip Andy.
Oh man. I don't think it could go anywhere so far. Maybe if there's another master and then we pick Tech 4. But like these are all very strong players, and Tech 4 has just kind of been lumped in there. I would definitely wouldn't rule him out though. I know he has quite a bit of time. Like he plays a bit. He's incredibly knowledgeable. Like we've seen him cast a few times. We've seen him do all these community events and stuff. So he's not by any means near the bottom of this tournament at all. So again, I think he's not favored compared to Wagon and Manipulation, but I'd like to see something come of him.
I mean, it's ZVZ too. Who knows what could happen?
Yeah, that's the only other thing I can think of, is that if he were to go, say we were to pick another Zerg, because obviously Tech 4 he's top Diamond Zerg, and when I say top Diamond, I mean like, I know Andy has been on like the edge of Masters for a very, very long time. So that being said, he's going against a top Masters player and another top Masters player, like mid-top Masters player. So then the difference anyone will tell you between a low Masters and top Masters is monumental.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
So I think that's going to be tough, but if we throw another Zerg in there, he does a 13-12, and then all of a sudden he's turning it around. We'll see.
Yeah, I've seen limited playing from Tech 4. I just know he's always been around. So it's going to be interesting to see what styles he busts out, especially with the weird map pool. I think you might be able to engineer a few wins just using map features and such. So
yeah, that's the other thing I actually want to consider is that when we're going at this map pool, a lot of these are really weird maps. So depending on what he chooses in maps, you got to see. For instance, on whatever is that Borea headquarters, something like that, or Namaste or something like that. If it's a ZVZ, anything can happen. So
yeah, I agree. An early pull could be devastating if your opponent goes for fast expand because they're not familiar with the map. Yeah. Good luck, Tech 4.
Good luck, man.
So we have to round out this group. It is Athreos. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Athreos. Yeah.
Okay. I guess I can start off. He's really, really active. I don't think his rank reflects his skill and his activity. I'd say that he's one of the better lower levels in this tournament. It's an unfortunate circumstance for him because he just got put into a group of two really strong masters and then Tech 4 who also plays a lot. But you know what? I think it could have been worse, but not much worse. I love the guy. He helps out a lot with a lot of different things. He seems to be the jack of all trades, but definitely the underdog in this group.
Yeah, him and Andy are kind of the jack of all trades of All-In. They both kind of run in, and they're like, oh guys, look what I did, and you're like, you did that? You just did this on the fly? All right, sweet, cool. Thank you. He made the stream overlay that I think we're currently using actually, and so he's very useful, and he also plays a lot. Whenever his wife is away, he always posts inside of the Gen Chat says, "Hey guys, I'm streaming right now," and he'll play 5-6 games or something like that. But he's very active. He plays a lot. He's always active in All-In and that sort of thing. So I do wish him the best of luck, but that's going to be a tough group.
Yeah, I think between Tech 4 and Athreos, or however you may say it, I think they made 90% of the overlays we use and graphics we use. So just a tip of the hat to them. They've helped make the stream a lot better. So yeah, let's move on to Group B.
All right, let's see. First one in Group B is Siegfried.
Okay.
Siegfried.
I'm going to be honest, I know absolutely nothing about Siegfried. I know that the games that I have watched him play, he is super, super standard. And not too standard or anything like that, but he clearly enters games and says, I'm going to go from A to B to C to D. I'm going to start out with my Reaper opening. I'm going to get my factory. I'm going to start taking my natural, and he's very I don't know.
I don't know too much either.
Yeah.
I've casted with him quite a bit. It seems like most of the time that I end up casting anything, he's alongside me. Incredibly knowledgeable of every matchup.
That's true.
I think the only reason why he hasn't gone to Masters, maybe the mechanics isn't quite there yet, but I think he's definitely well on his way. He's been playing insanely well from the limited games I've seen from him, and I expect big things. Especially because a lot of the upper levels have already been seeded. I think manipulation and the fact that manipulation and the wagon have already been seeded means that this group could get a lot less scarier than the last one we've seen, and Siegfried could easily move on. But we'll have to see.
And I know that Siegfried definitely is one of our better Terrans, or better Diamonds overall. He's definitely way up there. I know that Puddle is somehow, I'm not sure how Puddle is one of our top Diamonds, but Puddle is one of our top Diamonds, and I know that Siegfried is one of our top Diamonds as well. No BM Puddle.
Yeah. Puddle's beaten me many times.
And I don't understand how. He never plays games.
He's very good at CVP, and I think the only reason he's still Diamond is because he doesn't play as much as he could.
He walks in and he just kills Masters players on the fly.
Yeah. All right, Boo. Who's next?
Next person. It is Neo Surfer.
Okay, Neo Surfer. This group is looking pretty tame so far. Neo Surfer, really awesome guy. not the most active, but like I see his name a lot in like events and stuff. I'll be like, oh hey, you're still around. Neo Surfer's been here a lot longer than I have, and he's definitely a key part of the community, even though he's not as active as he once was. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I know that like Neo Surf is kind of one of the OGs of in terms that he's been around. I mean, him and P Sosa joined just about the same time, many years ago, and he stopped playing nearly as much at the end of HOTS, and then he sort of started coming back, or he's been coming back for Legacy of the Void. So I know that he's been playing a lot, well, not a lot, but he's been playing more for Legacy of the Void. And like I know that this season, for instance, he's been playing a lot, and every single time that we have an in-house tournament, this or that, whatever it is, every playing night that we have, he always seems to show up. So I know that he really does want to play, and he does want to improve. So I'm interested to see how that will work out, because like depending on who else is in this group, he could do something. And it's also TVT. That's the other thing. It's also TVT. And in TVT, especially with Tankifax, like if you were to go against Siegfried or something like that, with Tankifax, you never really know what's going to happen. There's a lot, of course, there's the macro mechanic behind it, but
yeah, for someone who thrived in Heartless Swarm, I think that the biggest change you have to get your head around is that obviously Siege Tanks can get lifted up now, but macro-wise, it's very much remained the same. You know, you want to like, throw in more Raxes at a certain time. Sure, the timings have quickened, but there's still a similar cycle to your production. You still want that many medevacs, still want that many Siege Tanks, still want that many Marines. Like the composition hasn't really changed, and the timings like they've shortened, but they're still very relevant to the Heart of the Swarm. So I think the fact that the TVT is the matchup so far that has he's been cut out with, I think that he can still strive.
All right.
ZVZs are like that too. Like ZVZ is very similar.
Yeah, like ZVZ, one wrong engagement, won the game.
Yeah.
I like the idea that we have 4 turns in the entire tournament, and 2 of them are the same group.
Yeah, in the same. Like we're gonna eliminate. We have 4 turns in the entire tournament. We're gonna eliminate one of them early. Just get it out. Get it out.
Yeah.
All right. Next person is you, Exiled.
Oh boy.
Oh, you must be happy.
Okay.
Don't give me that. Oh.
Like my PVT has been really bad. But I'm in the process of trying to re-engineer it. So hopefully I can figure it out before this starts.
Against Siegfried, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I mean, I'm not sure how much you played against Siegfried, but I think that Siegfried would be someone who maybe if your PVT doesn't figure itself out, then maybe he could take a game off you, or maybe even a series.
Yeah, I think that if he uses the right strategy and it prepares for it, I think he can easily upset.
Plus maps.
Yeah.
Maps.
Yeah, maps are really weird too. So I still would say that he's favored to move on, maybe alongside me, but I don't want to toot my own horn. But we'll have to see who this 4th person is, because if this 4th person comes out and they're really strong,
just ends up being grip.
Yeah, this could completely transform the group, like, and make the 2nd spot a lot more close than it is right now.
All right, go ahead, Bo.
All right, next person. Wait, I didn't get rid of you. It is Shadver.
He's the black horse. Dark horse, whatever.
I remember watching Shadver beat Tang, so we'll see.
Yeah, the thing about Shadver, I don't understand him. Who did he go against? I forgot. It was in the... He all-killed, didn't he?
Yeah, it was versus Team UR. And he had, I think...
Almost all-killed.
Almost all-killed. I think he took 2 or 3 games off of, like, Masters. So it was incredibly impressive.
Yeah, like, I remember watching that, the VOD after... I wasn't there for the actual thing. I remember watching the VOD afterwards, and I was like, holy God, like, who's this Shadver guy? Because, like, he's not very active in chat. Like, I haven't played any games against him, but he just, like, swagged in and, like, killed 3 Masters players. And I was like, wow, he just... Okay.
Yeah, he was a Masters, I think, 2 seasons ago or a season ago. He's definitely still playing on a similar level. I just think he has to figure like a little bit more out, and then he should be able to get that promo again. Like it was one of those circumstances where you just get, as a master, you get seeded into Diamond. I'm sure that's happened to a lot of masters on the team where you just Blizzard starts you off in Diamond, you have to climb again. And Shadver's kind of in that state, and he hasn't been able to get out. But I'm confident that, like, from what I've seen of him, he's playing a lot better than what he was even a season ago. So he should be able to return to that, and I think he's still playing at that high level.
Yeah, if that all kills any indication, he was still playing pretty well.
Yeah, I was like, I remember him playing. Wasn't Warren, but it was someone else. It was like their PVZ sniper.
Yeah.
His PVZ sniper, and he just like walked over him.
I believe. Did he beat Monk or did he fall to Monk?
He lost to Monk.
Yeah,
That was the one he lost to. I can't remember.
yeah,
who he
but
played.
Monk is an incredibly good
Yeah.
Masters. So like that was a really good showing at that that all kill, like the all kill match. He had a really good game, like a really good couple of games, and I think that should give everyone a fair perception of how good he really is, despite his diamond rank.
Yep.
All right,
All right.
Group C.
Group
We're
C.
flying along.
No Zergs in Group B.
I'm kind of sad about that, but
Where's that? Whichever. There he is. Okay. And it is Scytale.
okay. I officially say I do not know anything about Scytale's playstyle at all.
What I know about Scytale, first of all, is not very active in chat, but he is active in game. He does play quite a bit, and the last tie that he played in, I forgot who he played against, but he was Diamond at that time, and he had some really strong showings, particularly against Protoss. But keep in mind, this is back in HOTS, so I really don't know where he is in Legacy of the Void because it's so different. But I know that he was pretty good. He was pretty solid back then. So I'll be interested to see how he performs because, like I said, he doesn't have very active in chat. He doesn't really say a lot. He doesn't really but he plays a lot. So he's just one of those guys.
Yeah, especially he's definitely one of those guys that we haven't really seen too much of in Legacy of the Void. So he could be one of those unexpected people who go on a tear and just really change up predictions in the tournament. Especially because a lot of the lower level players have not been seeded yet. We still have Fizbin, we still have Catalyst, Havoc. So this could end up being a completely platinum gold group, but we'll have to see again. Very unlikely, but depending on who's in this group, I think he could even come out with the round 2.
All right. Go ahead, Boo.
Alright, next person. Fizbin, as you were saying.
Ooh, okay. So this is I think both players are gonna like that. So this is so far looking like a pretty tame group. Still interesting though. We should see some really good games. Like I said, we have seen Fizbin play. Do you want to comment on that?
Well, for me, I know that Fizbin, first of all, is extremely active, both in terms of chat. I think might literally be the most active person that is in chat. He's constantly posting in chat. He's constantly looking for practice partners. He's constantly looking to improve. And that, to me, more than your actual level of play is indicative of what your potential is. If you are active and you are willing to learn and you want to learn how to get better, that is essential. That's the most pivotal point. So I know that he is constantly he's been getting better and he's really wants to play. So I don't know. I'm not sure when exactly these matches will be played, but if he keeps the way he is, I think he could definitely someone like Scytale, he could definitely give him a run for his money.
That's a good point. I should go over that. People are going to have a 1-week preparation period, and then they'll have 2 weeks to play all of their group stages for round 1. So you're still going to have a week to prepare for whatever you want to throw at your opponents, and you're going to know your matches right after the group selection.
I like the game he just played today. He was really interesting. He did that link drop. The slow link drop into the Terran base.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what he pulls out. It could be interesting.
Yeah, preparation is everything for these. And
that was
really the ranks don't matter.
I'm also I know that for instance when I proposed the in-house clan war, not many people actually hit me up and said, hey, what is my map and that sort of thing, or really took a look at the maps, but he did. He actually went ahead and did take a look at the map and played some games against Manny, and we actually ended up taking a map out because it was pretty OP for Liberators. Sorry. But I know that he is the kind of guy who will prepare for a single map. Like I said, he prepares. He does study. And so that, for instance, that map where he did the lane drops, yeah, his macro mechanics might not have all totaled out in the end and made him win. But that lane drop was clearly something where he thought about it. He actually went into the map and was like, okay, what would be good on this map? What would be crushing? And, it almost got him. Honestly, that lane drop did devastating damage. So
yeah, it was a simple, effective idea, and he executed it very efficiently as well. So that was a really good showing at what he could do in this tournament, especially with Scytale in his group. That could be a way to win a game. Is just pull out or even a series, pull out a few really good map-oriented builds. He'll be able to move on from there. So definitely rooting for Fizbin as well. Yeah.
I'm rooting for Fizbin. Pro, I'm Team Fizbin.
All right, Boo.
All right, next person is P. Sosa.
That is a heavyweight.
I think P. Souza is happy with this one.
I think so too.
From what I've seen, his ZVZ is unique to the point where it might catch a lot of people off guard, especially people who don't play a lot of games. And he's consistently been a very solid Masters for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, I remember when Pisoso actually got Masters, it was HOTS like season 2 or like 3.
Yeah,
like he's been Masters. Right. He's been Masters for a long time. Like he's one of those. Like Manny's been no offense to Manny, but Manny actually been Master for like a relatively short period of time. But P. Sosa, man, he's been solid. He won like what is it, the CTL league? Yeah, like that league that he puts on. He's always been one of the top contenders in that. So he must be happy with this group because he's just gonna. I think he'll probably fly through it. No offense to Saitel and Fisbin, but that's gonna be a tough match, man.
Yeah, P. Sosa might just be your one that no matter what you do, you might not be able to pull out the series win, but you can probably still take a game using it's all ZVZ, right? Yeah. So that's all we've seen so far. Yeah, so you might be able to take a game using some kind of cheeky build. I'm sure P. Sosa will be on the lookout for it, but definitely one of the stronger picks. Like in Fisbin and Saitel, like that was probably one of the names they didn't want to see.
Let us never forget. I forgot what his name is actually.
Oh, Airware versus Tang? Yeah.
Airware versus Tang. When Tang lost to... What was Airware? I think he was a gold player.
Yeah, I think it was gold or flat.
And he actually took a game off Tang. Of course, Tang won the series, but still, gold GM still won.
And his legacy reigns on.
His legacy reigns on. He doesn't even know.
This is the potential that you can have by beating P. Sosa. Okay, Boo, last person here.
Last person. Total Havoc.
Okay, so this group ended up being really friendly. We got a lot of the golds and plats all together, so this is going to be really, really close games.
The nice thing I like about this group, honestly, is the fact that supposing that P. Sosa is able to just kind of run through it, it does mean we're going to have at least one gold/plat in the group stage 2. We are going to have somebody, which is nice. It's not just going to be like the Masters players running over everybody all the way through the first group stage.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what Total Havoc has to offer. I have seen quite a bit of games from Total Havoc, and they've all been like mainly the opponents doing something funky and him reacting to it. But he did so in a very reasonable fashion, and like he would always manage to pull the win. So maybe the funky maps will actually help Total Havoc in his cause, because from what I've seen, he's really good in stressful situations like that.
Yeah, actually, he's been on the. I mean, Total Havoc's been around for a long time on All-In. Actually, he's not like OG level, but he has been around for a very, very long time. So I don't know. I honestly, in that time period, I think I've seen him play a handful of games total. And just in those friendly matches, like nights where everyone jumps on and says, "Hey, let's play some games." Total Havoc will show up and he'll throw some games in there against Diamond Masters players.
Yeah, another lowerly ranked people, but still really eager to learn and won't stay like that for long. Like I can tell Total Havoc's going to start moving up the ranks very shortly. Like things are really starting to come together for him.
He's also got the same matchup 3 times.
Yeah, that's right. All you need to prepare for is PvZ, which is what actually I needed a kicking button. Like I used to be horrible in PvZ, and then I got a group like really Zerg heavy, like the last TAI, and I just completely redid all of my PvZ, and it worked out brilliantly.
Yep,
so
kicked the shit out of me. I remember that.
Yeah, the diamond upset last TAI. It's definitely possible.
It was 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1. But yeah, maybe a similar thing will happen this time where Havoc just says, "Hey, I got to put time into PvZ now," and completely transforms his matchup.
I know that I didn't have that last time. Last time I had a pure Protoss group, and I just died. Actually, no, I got out of it. But
PvP versus like high level people who are better than you, and and you're like, "Oh crap! Now I got to play them in a mirror." And like best of series, it's so rare that you take games off of people who are better than you. Oh, it's horrible.
All right, Group D.
Group D.
Right. Oh, the last thing I want to say about Group C is that's the most global group I've ever seen in All-In.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Switzerland, we got UK, US, and
Peru.
Wow. It's gonna be a nightmare finding a common server.
Oh yeah.
Like it's gonna be hell. Like
that's all my job.
I
I
didn't get a
guess.
piece of
It's like you're all playing in Australia because you're all gonna have horrible fate there. So everyone just go. No, I'll find out something.
All right, next person is it Bang Panther or B Bang Panther?
Oh,
I say
speaking of
B-Bang.
Australia.
Like B Bang
okay.
or wait, we can't talk about him, right?
B Bang Panther.
No, I was gonna say B Bang. Wait, who got caught for match fixing?
I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I think they did dirty. They deserve to get smack talks.
Okay.
Boom Boom and Young. I think they both got now. I think
All the double B sounds.
Yeah.
Everyone's gone. It was a slaughter. All right. B-Bang, he's been Diamond for a while, and he's been playing in CTL for a while. So he's one of the more active Diamonds, I'd say, especially nowadays. I expect high things. He's been able to pull out like some wins when he needed it. So hopefully that he'll continue to do so in this tournament. We don't know his group yet, but I'm confident that he can do at least decently.
I know that one of the things of it for him, because of it's kind of like Lando, how Lando doesn't like always show up and hang out and that sort of thing, and part of the reason why is because of hashtag time zones, and also the ping. So the times that I've seen him play, it was kind of like watching. Oh God, what was that last? We had an Aussie Terran. I forgot what his name is. He
It was
just
like we had Lumia.
Lumia.
Yeah.
Well, Lumia was just a macro beast. Like he just made lots of stuff, and that's what he did. And that was the reason why is because trying to micro with his
ping.
on it, he just decided, whatever, I'm just going to be a macro beast. And I kind of saw that a little bit with B-Bang, where like the times that I've seen him play, he's just been like, all right, I'm going to make lots of bases, I'm going to get lots of barracks, and I'm going to kill you. And that's what his thing is.
Definitely one of the scarier Terrans in this tournament, considering how there's very few. I think he is one of the ones that can do well.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me just say that the last people who are remaining are Riser, me, Lewis Kiniski, Grip, Callus, Zauk, and Space Pope.
So this is gonna get really scary.
Something's gonna get terrifying very soon.
This is gonna get real scary.
Yeah. All right. Next person. It is Lewis Kiniski.
Okay. You guys probably don't know too much about him.
Not at all.
He's one of those guys, like, I think everyone has those guys, especially if you play actively on ladder, that no matter what you do, no matter if you're winning or losing a lot recently, you always run into the same guy over and over and over and over again, and that's Lewis to me. So I know all about him. We're actually incredibly even matched. Like, we just take games off each other all the time, and usually one of us cheeses, the other one just tries to defend it, and it swaps depending on how salty we feel that day. But you know what? He's a very strong player. His playstyle is really out there, especially in PvP. I'm not gonna say too much about it, but he's kind of on the wild side of how he approaches his matchups. So it's gonna make for interesting games at least. I don't know how well he's gonna do, depending on I see a lot of big names left, but he is a very strong player and he plays his own style, which is pretty hard to prepare for.
I don't know a whole lot about his playstyle. I do know a lot. I do not know a lot, but I do know. I've talked to him personally, and when I talk to him personally, he's pretty hard on himself, which is always strange because I'm like, as a Masters player, never be hard on yourself. Like, you're definitely one of the top ranks on the team, but he plays to improve. Like, he plays because he wants to get better at StarCraft, and that is what his thing is. He's not super active in social and that sort of thing, but the reason why is because he joined All-In because he wanted high-level people to play against to improve, and that's his thing. And so it's the same reason why I kind of revere Fizbin, where like Fizbin just wants to improve. I won't say anything against Lewis because he really wants to just get better. So props to him.
Like, as soon as he joined, he just asked me like, "Hey, okay, all right, how can I find people to play against? You know, what's going on? Like, I want to get better. Look, what resources do you have? Like, these are all things that he asked me. Usually that's what I'm telling people when they join. It's like, hey, check out our website. No. Lewis is straight to the chase. What do you have to offer? So he's definitely transfixed with getting better, and I think he'll have a decent shot to moving on, depending on who else is in the group. That's all I got.
All right.
Next person. Next victim. It is Space Pope.
Okay. Space Pope. The Diamond Slash Master, I think he recently got his promo, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he just became Master, so technically speaking, and considering how he walked in with a Thor and killed me.
Also, is Space Pope Zerg or is he Terran? He's Terran, right?
He signed up as Zerg.
Oh, he signed up as Zerg? Okay.
For this
so
tournament.
he was making a sort of loose switch to Terran, and his Terran, he says it's like Diamond level, but his Zerg is definitively master.
Yeah. I've seen both now. I'd say that they're both pretty strong. Definitely the group isn't looking too scary yet, so I think he's still one of those people who can move on as well.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's not, which is not to say, like, when the reason, I don't want to, like, I don't know too much about him, but I don't want to say that he wasn't master because he was playing Terran, but I know that as soon as he switched back to Zerg and started playing Zerg, within, like, a day, he became Zerg, or he became master, so, like, it's, I don't know how good his Zerg is, but clearly it was good enough to where he switched over one day, and he was like, oh, I'm going to play Masters now. All right, sweet.
Yeah,
So,
definitely a stronger player. I don't know too much about his playstyle. Like, I've only seen a few games. But he seems to be one of those people who will embrace the map, like as you saw earlier.
Yeah,
so he
right.
might be one of those people who thrive with the weird map pool. All right.
All right, last person. I am terrified.
This is gonna be
It's gonna be you, boo.
This click is terrifying. Oh, thank God. Okay, it's Grip.
Okay.
Grip is not in my group. Sorry.
Oh boy, this is rough. I think from all of the players, like the new guys at least, I've seen Grip's play has been the most impressive by far. This guy goes and streams like, "Hey, streaming Master Zerg," and you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna tune in for a mediocre Zerg," and he's just crushing these GMs. Like I'm talking like known GMs too. Like goes up against Todd and just like absolutely styles on him, and like it's kind of ridiculous at times how good Grip is. And how little credit he's getting for it. So definitely tune into his stream. But in terms of this tournament, definitely because of this, now one of the favorites to move on.
Yeah, I remember watching Grip stream, and he would constantly be beating like GMs everywhere, right? He would be beating like I don't know, he beat Nero. I watched him beat Nero, Nathanius. I watched him beat VIII. He's definitely GM level. I don't know how he's not GM actually.
I'd say he's one of the favorites to win the tournament from the play I've seen. All right.
I would say, well, I'm just going to throw it in there. I would say that if you are a Zerg player and you want to learn how to play StarCraft, please watch Grip's stream. And the reason why is because he is actually really, really, really good at StarCraft. That's just kind of his thing. Like his builds that he uses are crisp, they're clean, they have methodology behind them, they're great.
And they're also unique. They're like not the same. They're not the same build over and over again. He does like different things a lot.
No. And it's not like the build that I'm currently using like in PBT or trying to use, which I didn't really get there today, but is this where he makes 3 roaches, he throws the roaches in, and then he switches over to mutas, and then he switches back to roaches, and he goes Roach Ravager. It's like, and it's very weird. It's not something that you would see every single game if you were on the ladder, but it's really solid and it works. And so I know that he's a really, really solid Zerg player. I think he is a favorite to take the entire series. Like, I think it might, if like him, Yseon, Tang, like these are like our top players. So we're gonna see. But he is a powerhouse.
Yeah, definitely. If there's more people getting seeded into Group Stage 2, he'd be one of them. Like from what I've seen of his stream, like I watched quite a bit. But one game because of mine where he faced like there's a guy named OGS Prime MC or whatever, or RC or whatever. And I've ran into the same guy in ladder, and he did beat me quite a few times. But what Grip does is, the way he plays, it makes so much sense to someone watching him. Like, all of a sudden someone gets aggressive, he stops drone production, units, everything's so crisp, and everything makes so much sense. Like, you're never asking, oh, why is he doing that? It's always very straightforward. He's just one of those very solid Zergs that are going to do well regardless of what you throw at them.
Yep.
Alright, only got 4 more left.
Alright, so we don't need to pick anyone. We know that the last group is, right?
Yeah, so that leaves...
It's Riser? I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Riser, yeah.
Me, Boo, Catalyst, and Zauk. Zauk?
Exoc.
Exoc.
That's what I'm calling him.
I've been trying to figure it out.
I've been calling him Exoc. So Exoc, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Correct us if it is, but...
So we got Riser, Boo, Exoc, and...
Catalyst.
Okay. We're still going to talk about every single person here. So we can start off with Riser.
We saw him today.
We did see him today. He looked good today.
Yeah. I know that honestly I don't know too much about Riser except for like today's matches, quite honestly. But when I saw him play against Zerg Assassin, I mean that was just solid, really, really solid PvP. So, like I was impressed. Like I know that Manny actually has been talking about he's been having an ongoing competition with Riser to see who is like the top because they're in the same. I think they're in the same group in Masters.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So they trade up like top 8. Like they're like, oh, we're constantly on the top 8 and go up and down. So I know that like he's definitely up there for like our best players, like up there, especially for Protoss.
Yeah. When I was talking to him earlier, he did regard PvP as his best matchup, but so did Zerg Assassin. So when they went head to head there, that was a very high level PvP, and it was pretty action packed, and there was a lot of stuff going on. I think that's just a little sample of what's up with these two players. Is they're both incredibly strong. They both do what they want. Or sorry, what's up with Riser is he's incredibly strong. He has a general idea how he wants to play a game, and he executes it very well. I don't have too much other things to say about Riser. I know that the map that I did his crewman game on, it was Prion, and I used like a map oriented build against him, and it was very effective. So that might be a key that he's not one to play the map, rather he just has his preset playstyles. So that might be a red flag, but either way, he's very strong in PvZ, and that's really where you're gonna have to be strong in looking at these names in this group.
All right, then there's Boo. He's terrible.
Terrible player.
Absolutely garbage. I'll pretend Boo's in here. I'll talk about him.
Okay.
In the past, we've seen really consistent play from him. He's been like a very high level Zerg for a long time. I'm not sure lately if he's been putting in the effort. I know that he's taken some extended leaves from competitive StarCraft, and he's gotten himself into a negative mental attitude at times.
Hey, I'm not that bad.
But we're adoring that you're here, Boo.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Hopefully,
Fight down, Chachi.
hopefully, the group I think this is a very fair group for Boo to come out ahead on. I think this is one that he probably wants, considering some of the names that were left going into the last two. So I think that with the right amount of preparation and focus, Boo could easily take it. Anything to add, Boo?
There's no Zerg, so my hatred of ZVZ is I don't need to deal with it. I got a group of no Zergs in an all-in tournament. It's that's something. Someone's smiling on me.
That is.
I would say honestly, like I got a no Zerg group. Think about that. Like how rare is that in all-in? Like we have a group B too. We have all Terran, all Protoss for group B. How did that happen?
I don't know. I mean, I've kind of I've gone into the casual life, lost the passion to play the game, but it's okay. I'll bring it back.
Yeah, he has a week to figure stuff out.
Yeah, I got time. I got to figure out my CVP, really, actually.
I'm gonna talk about Boo as if he's not here real quick. Boo is a super macro-oriented player. I know that he struggles in ZVZ, so that's one thing that's gonna be really, really good for him, and the fact that this group has no Zerg, so it's gonna be like a lot more. It's gonna be a lot easier for him to play straight up. But I also know that if you let Boo get to his 3-4 bases, he is pretty damn good. Like, there's a reason why he's a Masters player. And it's not in the early game. Like, I'm just going to say it straight out. It's not in the early game. It's in the late game. And his macro is terrifying. And his decision-making in the late game is also, like, excellent. He's good, he's responsive, he's crisp, and he knows how to macro, and he knows how to just outplay his opponent. It's just the only thing that I know that I've seen him, especially in the last tie as well, that he does die to is those kind of early game weird, heavy decision making, microcentric scenarios.
I agree. Yeah, a lot of the games I've seen Boo drop have been like early game, mid game pushes that he hasn't been able to pull out the win from. But once he gets up to like 4 bases, he's really comfortable. All right, should we move on to was it Ziotic? What?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Exoc, we gotta figure out what your name is, buddy.
Exoc.
I think it's XAOC, not XOAC, right?
Is it? Did I just spell it wrong? Yeah, I did. That's wonderful. It was like when I was trying to spell something the other day, and I just like completely whiffed like 3 times. Horizon.
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 I
learned how to spell
Horizon to the team chat, and I just misspelled it like 4 times in a row. It was beautiful. But okay. Actually, I haven't seen too much of him lately. Exorock.
What I know about Exoc. So he's a newer player. First of all, he actually just joined. I think in March. March.
Yeah, I think he's been on a little bit, but not too long. Yeah.
Yeah, he joined in like March. I haven't seen him play a whole lot of games in that time. I know that he does play games, and the only reason why is because I'm part of the secret AI intelligence agency that watches all of your games. But I know that he, at least in ladder, he is at least fairly active. And I would say that although, like, I have him, right now he's in Diamond, in my secret whatever roster thing. I have him down as a master, and the reason why is because he is a previous master. So that's not to say that I don't think Exoc could actually reach up and actually get there and take out players like Riser or like Boo. And it's Zayoc.
Zayoc? Like a Z. Okay, I got you.
Cool.
Yeah, I think Zayoc and Shadver are in the same boat where they were previous season masters. They're still playing very close to that level, so I think an upset isn't a far reach at all.
Yep.
All right.
I honestly, beyond that, I don't know much about him. And then there's Catalyst.
Yeah. Catalyst, from what I have seen a little bit of Catalyst's play. There's not too much to comment on. A very safe player. Likes to go into that mid game, I'd say. From the limited games I've seen of Catalyst. Again, not the most active in chat, but fairly so. Like I've had some conversations. So yeah, play style wise, I don't know too much. Just I've seen a lot of mid game pushes and such.
Yeah, I know that like I kind of equate him a little bit like Siegfried in that what times that I have seen him play, it's usually pretty methodical. It's usually pretty A, B, C, and that sort of thing. And I know that Siegfried did do the 3-Rax rush, I guess, earlier on today. I wasn't here for those games, but I guess he did the 3-Rax rush with Reapers. But generally speaking, Siegfried usually goes for the A, B, C methodical play. And Catalyst seems to go for the same thing, where he plays Terran, he's going to get up to his 3 bases, and he's going to make lots of Liberators, Marines, Medevacs, and that sort of thing. So, I think we have him down as a plat player right now. I know that he's definitely capable of Diamond, like without any question. I think it's a matter of him just playing, getting rid of his bonus pool. So I think that he could still take some maps off here. By no means is he favored, but I think he can still do it.
Okay, so that's the groups. I should just, I guess, quickly explain how this is going to work. So I believe the way the system sets it up is that the first 2 players listed in a group will play each other first game, and then third, fourth play. And the 2 winners will face. The winner of that moves on. And the loser of that game will face the winner of the loser's game. So it's a very... it sounds confusing when I say it out loud, but it's pretty straightforward when you look at it. It's basically double elimination.
It's the GSL groups, right?
Yeah, exactly the same as GSL style. So anyone familiar with that? It's exactly like that.
So let's exemplify for a moment. So it would be Manny versus the Wagon to start off, and then it would be Tech 4 versus Athreos.
And then the 2 winners would go and play. So say if Manny beat the Wagon and Tech 4 beat Athreos, they would play, and the winner of that would actually move on. So they'd only play 2 games. And the loser of that, would face the winner of Athreos and the Wagon.
And then the loser of Athreos versus the Wagon would be dropped out.
Yeah. So 2 move on from each. That results in 10 moving on to meet Tang and Wyscion already in the triple group second stage. So basically, if you're top 2, you're going to move on to meet whoever else is top 2 in the other groups. Very straightforward. Your starting map, remember that your starting map is Whirlwind. So no matter what, game 1's always going to be on Whirlwind, and then the loser of that plays the other maps. They get to pick.
And if you're wondering about what the map pool is, I'm going to make sure that the Twitch chat and all things StarCraft, I'm going to link the Wikipedia page to that, so you can actually just go there, click on it, you can see what maps you have to choose, all the information about who you're playing, everything like that. Generally,
we do actually make a separate chat as well, so you'll always have that. You can always just ping the group, say, hey, where's my map pool at? And then we'll send it to you via there. That's pretty much all we have to cover. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you especially for everyone who registered. It was looking pretty sketchy for a while, but then I started nagging people, and they really came through. So a lot of these people that you see were kind of like last minute, yeah, sure, why not? Especially Fizbin. Shout out to him. Like he's lower ranked than everyone else in the tournament, and he was kind of contemplating back and forth, and I said, come on, Fizbin. He's like, why not? So he's in here. He's got a pretty reasonable group, a decent shot of moving on. I think groups overall look pretty exciting. Everyone's similar in skill, so these should be interesting matchups. Thanks to Boo as well for a long day of casting and observing.
No problem. I didn't have to talk that much. Just
Yeah,
let
yeah.
Fizbin and Wagon talk.
I was gonna say, everyone should do a real quick shout out to Boo because he's been doing production since 1 o'clock today. So he's been spending 3 hours of his life just doing production.
Yep.
So
I need to eat some
everyone-
food, really.
yeah, and that. So also just everyone shout out to Boo, hardworking caster, hardworking guy. Appreciate it.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. Any more questions,
Good night.
just feel free to hit any of the leadership in chat. Besides that, we're done. I'm KJ or Exiled. With me is Max, Tweebird, and also Boo. Thanks, Boo. All right.
See you guys later.
See you.